I love living in the future. Hey, it's Friday. It's Pi Day Friday. It's drama. Dave Rush, Ask Me Anything. And welcome to the show. What I love about living in the future is I press a little red button and suddenly millions of people are watching my smiling face as I pontificate and perhaps prevaricate sometimes. Well, it is Friday. It's Pi Day Friday. And I am Dave Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars and resident Pi specialist. We get together once a week, Fridays at 2:00 Central Time on the Total Seminars YouTube channel to talk about CompTIA, especially the trifecta, but I'm good for just about any CompTIA oriented topic. So ITF plus, Network plus, A plus, Security plus, anything else is fair game. We talk about technology in general. What's the latest hack going on in the world? How does fiber optic work? Something I've been playing with this week, I finally turned on WSL for Windows. Windows system for Linux, that's not exactly right. Because there was some news about it. You know, I didn't even put that in my news feed. I think I will. I don't want to forget that right now. I want to talk about what's new with WSL in Windows. There we go. Hang on, bear with me. Got to type one sentence, WSL app. There we go. Now it's set. And I can talk about that. So we're going to talk about just about anything. Of course, the nature of this is it's Pi Day Friday. We use Raspberry Pis as learning aids to prepare for CompTIA certifications and exams and find ways to use them as tools. And sometimes we go above and beyond. Today, little above and beyond, but it's interesting stuff, and it has a good technical goal, even if it isn't necessarily directly applicable to A+. Well, I'm not working with my partner, Scott, today. Scott is traveling, visiting family back east. And when he left, we had a closing conversation where he said he wants to be here, of course. And his guess is that this time of day where he is nap time. He's visiting parents and things like that. So they all tend to be a week or two older than him. So his hope was that everybody would be napping right now and he would jump in. And that may still happen. But for the moment, no Scott. However, that does not mean that I'm alone, because also working the back channel and moderating the YouTube feed is Andrew Hutz. As you know, Andrew Hutz is a longtime participant in Mike's AMAs, in my drama, in the unofficial Discord channel. And we had so many conversations with him about so many things that Mike and Scott had to talk together and said, you know, we really ought to talk to Andrew about maybe taking advantage of some of his talents and leveraging them for Total Seminars. And so that's exactly what happened. Andrew is not just a player here. Sorry about that. I had to adjust my camera on the AMAs and the dramas and whatever, but he works now for Total Seminars in a writing capacity. And so he is volunteered to jump in and manage the back channel. And we upgraded his account to moderator. So as a back channel resource, I don't know if you guys know what we do here. You probably have a fairly good idea. We got regulars here. Excuse me. Oh, there's an interesting thing. Hang on. There we go. Oh, that's cool. Our back channel people, when I work the back channel for Mike, is to read questions ahead of where they're answering them. And if I see a question come up that I know Mike could use a little more information to fill in what he's going to talk about, or I know what Mike knows and what he doesn't know. And so sometimes I'll have a quick article or summary of bullet points and things like that. And of course he knows about it. He just isn't always on top of every single thing that you guys ask. So I'll post some bullet points in there in the question. That's one of the important reasons that we use timestamps. So it'll have a timestamp on there that says something like a timestamp 227, Fred Mogadishu is going to ask this. here's some information to refresh your memory. And he'll look at that, and he's really good, right? He doesn't go, oh yeah, I got it. He just takes it in stride. He sees it out of the corner of his eye, and it triggers what he already knows, and he's off and running. And of course, sometimes he asks us to do specific research. I don't know that one, but maybe somebody, Dave or Scott or whoever, Andrew, will do the research in time. So that's what Andrew's doing today. He has so far in his tenure and life as a moderator never used his ban hammer. So let's not trigger that today, right? Beg your pardon. Hey, first sip of the day, that'll help. Ooh, that's just good iced tea. That's what I'm talking about. All right, reading my notes here. I know I should move these notes up there so it's got a little more camera. My eyes look a little close to that. I will, yeah, thank you, Andrew. I'll take a peek at that in a second. I do have a verdict. You know what? And all the time that I've been a moderator, about a year or so, I've used the ban hammer twice, and maybe 3 times, but 1 or 2 of them was just 10-minute bans, enough to say, hey, going a little over the edge here, back off a bit. But there was, and then, every now and again, you get somebody who isn't here to watch or learn, and they just want to, post whatever horribleness that they do. And of course, we don't even entertain that. That just goes away. If you're paying attention and you care, I don't really, but it's something fun for me to track. This is the 63rd in a series of dramas to show how we use Raspberry Pi in study and real world creations. This is a Total Seminars presentation. I'm the senior instructor for Total Seminars. All right, 2 o'clock every week on Fridays. And if you didn't already know, 2 o'clock on Mondays and 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, Mike does an AMA on this channel that's a little more focused, or isn't focused on Raspberry Pi. He just opens up and talks about any technology and any CompTIA and whatever strikes his fancy. Sometimes kind of a stream of consciousness guy. We've been very fortunate. Scott's been able to join him lately, and there's been some substitution last week. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get to the end of the show. Show contact information, says my handy dandy notes. I'll do that. So this is an Ask Me Anything. It's a live show, runs from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock every Friday. And so the quickest, easiest, bestest way for you to ask a question is to post it in the YouTube feed. But if that's not possible or practical for you, maybe you're watching the show later on archive, maybe got a longer question, you're just shy, whatever the case may be, we have alternative methods that you can use to contact me and Scott and even Andrew. I don't have you on the slide here, Andrew, but I will do that because that just seems like something we ought to do, right? Bring the slide up, Dave. Quit yammering about it. There we go. So you can email me. I work for Total Seminars. My name is Dave Rush, so I am daver@totalsem.com. You can also use my personal email, drushtx@yahoo. While Scott's not here, he's still a font of information, totally useful, and encourage you to contact him if you have questions about Total Seminars, about technology. He co-writes the books with Mike. He edits them, so he gets deep into the weeds about researching the technology and make sure that it's communicated correctly and things like that. And Andrew Hutz works for Total Seminars. So he's going to be Andrew H at Total Sem. Scott Jernigan, of course, Scott J at Total Sem. If you need to talk to Total Seminars for any reason or any of us, you can call this number. It's answered by a live human during business hours, Central Time. And if you can convince one of those fine folks that you really need to talk to us, they will find a way to get us in touch. And that is that for now. And then we went back to the notes, which include specials. We have specials that we offer only to the people who watch Mike's AMAs and my AMAs, my dramas, DRAMAs. Dave Rush, Ask Me Anything if I didn't say that. And so special this week. And if you would, Andrew, post the special on the YouTube chat thing, I will stick it up. I should have left that slide up, huh? Oh, well, weekly specials, share it. And then we'll all read it together. It'll be fun. I'll be Miss Sally and you be the kids in the romper room. Okay, AMA special deals for this week. We got 50% off bundles. The bundles are an ebook and a total tester for a given topic. Topics include A+, Net+, Security+, Cybersecurity Analyst+, Pen Test+, and AWS Systems Architecture Associate. That's not a plus. You just go to the Total Sem website, you load up your basket with loot, and you'll see how much this stuff really costs. It's so getting it 50% off is easily getting kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Use the code because it's mid-October. We're halfway through October today. Pumpkin, Pumpkin, lowercase, is the easiest way to ensure it will work. You could experiment with other cases and probably a couple of them will work, but all lowercase, guaranteed to work. Okay, stuff is good through Sunday night, October 17th. Do it before then so you don't have to write and say, what time does it end? It's almost 11 o'clock somewhere. I don't know. And all I know is it ends on October 17th. And then we start up a new one on Monday with Mike's show on October 18th. All right, well, let's take a look at who's here. And there's questions and answers, or at least I got answers here. A couple of people showed up way early, 7:42 a.m. Bob is great. Bob is bad. It says, I am also lol, if possible. Okay. I too am also. Was it cogitas ergo sum? Cogita ergo sum? I'm terrible at Latin conjugation. I am indeed contactable. Okay, good. Hey, by the way, Andrew, if you put anything up on the back channel that I shouldn't read out aloud, make that the first sentence that you post, since I double flubbed up last week doing that. That was so dumb. Oh, well, this happens. I'm not the smartest, brightest bulb in the chandelier. I like that one. All right, back to business here. I'm reading timestamps off of here. If you don't see timestamps, just right click on the 3 vertical dots and you can toggle timestamps on and off, and then you'll know where I'm at and why I haven't gotten to your question yet, or if I skip it. I do that sometimes. I read quickly and figure that something got dealt with. All right, Bob knew. Oh, Patricia Grace popped in at about 20 till the show start. She's in training. She'll keep a half an eye out on us. Thank you, Patricia. And Bob News, Bob Noob, I will always be here as long as I have a chance to win a voucher to complete my A+. Okay, so had a chat with Mike about contest rules, and it works like this. Mike's show has Mike's rules. Dave's show has Dave's rules. And because we have so many less participants here than Mike's show, if you've won one on drama, a voucher, you cannot win another voucher on drama. Maybe I'll look at that after we've gone through everybody, but as it stands, you've won. And it doesn't mean if you want a voucher, whether it's on Mike's show or on my show, you cannot win another voucher on my show. Sorry about that, those of you looking for it. We will have a voucher contest today. It will be as fair as I can make it. It's not going to be a test question. I took some people's advice that posted on Mike's Wednesday show about using a random number generator. I'm going to use a random number generator for today's contest. Okay. I'll always be here as long as I have a chance to win a voucher. Still didn't get an answer from CompTIA. You know the deal on that. We've explained it to you. Mike's explained it to you. I've explained it to you. It's in the hands of CompTIA, and when they get around to it, that's when it'll happen, and not before and not after. So sorry, we have no leverage. I can't call anybody over there and hit them with a baton packed with rusty nails and say, Bob Noob needs his. It'll happen when it happens. It's out of our hands. And good morning to Tullowit, who is on morning time compared to the rest of us, living in paradise, so they say, in Hawaii, as it becomes continually drenched in lava. Ellen Duggan, greetings, my friend. Matthew Patrick asked Bob if you're still waiting for his voucher. Apparently so. Andrew Hutz greets us all right at the hour. It's Friday, and that means drama time. Thank you, sir. Bob Noob, yes, still waiting. Hello, Avinat. Nice to see you, sir. And many greetings. I'm posting your info, your blogo today, Elbow. And Andrews and Tulowitz. I got a slide for that for everybody. Man, I super scrolled already. Lots of stuff piling up. I spent too much time on the intro. Yes, Windows subsystem for Linux. Thank you very much, Tulowitz. I'm scrolling back to get there, so I'm still not. Hey, greetings. What's up? I made it. Jason Helms has made it. Okay, they're letting you have a little time off from your new job today, huh? Or are you just watching while you're working? Hello, Dave and chat. Linux talk today. Yes, we will be talking Linux today. We're going to do some special Linux commands that don't get used every day, but they're like those commands that you don't use every day until you say, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that. And then suddenly they become a much more frequently used resource for you. Bob has bagged a couple of messages at 2:02. Thank you, Tulowit. I'm not reading that out loud. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the bang command. And if you don't know, exclamation point takes 5 syllables. Bang takes 1 syllable. And so exclamation points in programming and computerese are called bangs. And we've talked about that in the past in other contexts. Yeah, that's the word. Perfect for voucher winning, but I'm not ready for those. So good luck. Okay. We'll be doing the voucher contest toward the end of the show after we finish talking commands today. Hey, Dave, have you tried Win11 yet? Comments. I have only tried the beta one when it got leaked. I have not tried the new one. And there is a good reason for it. My laptop doesn't have TPM2. And I understand that Tulowit has posted a link over on the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel on how to install that. Here's the real problem with my machine. Whoever installed Windows on it, I bought this as a used computer, installed it as a, not a GPT drive, an MBR drive, which you absolutely cannot install. And so that means I've got to change it from an MBR to a GPT drive. Now that's not something that is done whimsically. Okay, that's a serious endeavor, and it's very easy for something to go wrong. So what I'm looking for is a couple of days to take a deep breath and back up everything that is important to me, and then try this thing. I'm going to use a utility, a partition management utility from EaseUS. They document that they do it, and they give you the step-by-step. And, you know, sometimes I'm pretty brave, and I'll just do it and take a chance and say, you know what, I trust these guys, I trust this company, but it's a used computer. I have no idea what other creative things the installer did with that. So I don't want to risk something that I don't have total control over when I set it all up, but I will, week or two. I'm not an early adopter of these things. And we all share that same philosophy, myself and Mike and Scott, because, you know, right off the bat, 1 to 2 weeks afterward, all the reports of, man, this crashed and this doesn't work anymore. And while my system mercifully doesn't have an AMD chip, Intel for the win at Dave's house. I can't say there's no AMD chips in here. I think we have a couple computers that are AMD, but all of mine are Intel. And that's worked out fairly well, because installing Win11 when it first came out on an AMD based system cost about a 15% reduction in performance. So AMD says it's their fault. They will create some kind of fix or patch. Now, I just read 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday even, that the first patch for Windows 11 that came out to take care of whatever, all the new reports and things like that, impacts the AMDs and makes them even worse. It's an even greater performance loss than that initial 15%. And of course, AMD doesn't have a patch or a fix yet. So for the win. What the heck is that? Do not read. Okay, got a question coming up at 3:10. Okay, way to go, big man. Reading the back channel. And Andrew promises at 2:03 to be fair with his banhammer. Hey, Dave. Okay, so I missed that one. Senior banhammer. Senior band. Okay, I see where you're going with that. Hey, hi. Nice to see you, Avocado. We got to talk on Discord about the genesis of that name. I'm kind of curious. Avocados are big in my life right now. I'm going keto. I'm losing weight hard and fast. I'm getting bored. This is a dream for me. There are three things in the world that I like to eat: meat, fat in the form of cheese primarily, and fruit. Oh crap, fruit's out. Nothing sweet, nothing sugar, and then the other handful of big things are out. No bread, of course, or bread products like breading. No starch, no potatoes, no rice. I was a big rice eater before then. So no sugar, no starch, no rice, no bread. And so I'm getting bored. I mean, I'm loving it. Give me a hamburger every day and sausage the next day and chicken the next day. And I can do that all day, but I needed something with breading. And I'm not going to cheat. I'm fairly good at that. I'm reasonably well disciplined. So a couple of days ago, I'm looking around for keto recipes and I found a keto-friendly chicken Parmesan. And I looked at it. There's no breading. It uses things that I would have ridiculed people for 6 weeks ago and for the rest of my life previous to that. But here I am buying almond flour and nut flour and other kinds of nut flours. But you take that and you mix that up with grated Parmesan and it's bread. I mean, it's a breading that you just cannot tell the difference. In fact, it's better than breading because it's got wonderful flavors from Parmesan. So I had me and the missus keto-friendly chicken parm last night, and I'm on cloud 9. All right, reading more questions. Bob Noob won a voucher. Yes, he did. Maven, you didn't have any technical problems. What's going on here is when you win a voucher, the winner sends an email to Mike Myers with some specific information in it. Mike, who's delayed a little bit, sent them out a Friday and a half ago, something like that. So he kind of let the first few of them pile up. But he sends them to his contact at CompTIA, and then we have to wait for CompTIA to take that information and then contact the winner directly that says, here's your voucher number and here's how the game works and things like that. So Mike, to my knowledge, has sent all winners to CompTIA. I don't know if he sent Wednesday's winner yet. I don't know if Wednesday's winner sent him the email yet, but the delays are primarily coming initially from Mike and now from CompTIA. And again, we have no leverage over what they do and when they do it. So it happens when it's going to happen. You're just going to have to be patient. Oh, what would get Andrew Hutz to ban someone? Disparaging the Beagles. I'm going to disparage the Beagles. They mangled my fantasy team. I am getting rid of my 2 Eagle players after this week. That's right. No horribleness today. I'm Duggan. Hey, Dave, I'm studying for Sec Plus 601 at the moment, and I'm just curious. Is the question from the 501 exam still valid for 601 exam, or are there new set for new exam always? So it goes something like this, Alan. New course comes out, right? New exam objectives. And there's about 25% typically new material added to the old stuff. There's about 25% of the old material taken away from the old stuff so that it has about the same amount of objectives. They've changed the focus on 601 a lot from 501. So what happens is we go through the, first of all, if you try and use the 501 questions to study and prep for 601, you're not going to pass 601. That one's simple. So what we do is we take all the 601 501 questions and we cull out the stuff that has been removed as objectives from the 601 course. And then we write lots of new questions to deal with the new content and then release that as a set of 601 practice test questions. So yeah, there'll be some old 501 questions in there because some of those objectives and concepts didn't change. but there's going to be a bunch of new ones in there, and there's going to be a bunch of old stuff that got taken out. Hope that helps. Joe 7, Jason Helms, the Eagles. So I watched a little bit of that Eagles game last night, but I gave up on them too early because they were losing like mad at halftime. And then I came back a couple minutes before the end and like, oh, well, they kind of sort of came back. Maven, I need to fix my old laptop, so I'll try to hop on Discord with questions. Terrific. I will be on Discord after the show today, 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, you went to bed at the half too. Andrew, would you be so kind as to post the Discord links? I'll stick up a slide for them. Announcement, history, Bing Bang, Friends of Show, Pyre Square, unofficial total Discord channel. And what I'm about to put on screen is what Andrew is putting in the chat feed right now at 25 minutes after the beginning of the show, 2:25 my time. Share screen, click this. And so there exists an unofficial Discord channel. We don't own it. We don't operate it. It was set up by our good friend Jose Braden. He manages it along with some people that he's appointed as moderators. You'll see some of them here online. They're watching you and me. I think the first link is going to work right off the bat. But there's two links that I get them from different places on the site. And if you use either of these links and you get some kind of message that says it's expired, ignore that message. Just look around on that page. There's a link somewhere or a button or whatever that says continue anyway, and something to that effect. And you will be able to join our Discord channel. And you want to join the Discord channel, because we get together after AMAs and there's lots of people who are there all the time, 24 hours a day. We got just about 250 people. I'm sorry, 450 people on there right now. And they're brilliant, and some of them know nothing, and they're there to ask questions, and there's lots of people there to answer questions. After the AMAs, we get together on there with mics and cameras, and we hope you'll do the same, and we can have little face-to-face, voice-to-voice conversations. But if you don't have that, cool, type in the text areas. We'll read them while we're talking and address you. But you want to join now. You want to join before October 29th, because on October 29th, right after my show, I'm going to cut the show a half an hour short. We're heading over to Discord for an online costume party. So you got to be there with cameras because I got to see your smiling face. I'm going to bring this up and put the info up. Andrew, no. We're just doing vouchers today. I never do the other one. Okay, share this. Share that, click this. All right, so here's the deal. It's not just a fun get together where you're on camera and show your shining costumey face or more if you set up a wide view and stand up if you have a cool whole costume. But here's the deal. October 29th of this year at 3:45 Central Time. It'll be 15 minutes after I close down the show here on Friday. We're going to have a costume party, and it's going to be a costume contest. As a contest, it's totally subjective and decided by me. I'm not even going to put criteria. You put together a costume that you think I will think is number one, and there will be 3 places: first place, second place, and third place. And one of the places will win a full-blown Raspberry Pi kit. It's got the SD card and the cables and the power supplies, and it'll be Raspberry Pi 4, probably 2 gig. And then there'll be 2 other fabulous prizes. It might be a voucher. It might be a Raspberry Pi Pico. I don't know. We're still kind of going back and forth on a couple of the issues, but there will be 3 cool prizes, and we're going to run for an hour. Anybody who turns up, I'm going to take a still of it, and then at 16:45, I'm going to look through all the pictures that we have, and I'm going to pick 1, 2, and 3 and announce it. And then since you're Discord, I'll be able to send you a private message that tells you how to claim your prize. It'll be fun. Hey, look, I got a typo, a bang and a period. Total Seminars people, if you are watching, it is mandatory that you participate, and you are not eligible for prizes. I guess Andrew's probably the only one watching right now. All right, more questions. How are we doing here on time? It's 30, that's fine. About 15 more minutes of this stuff, and then we'll start projecting, maybe 20 minutes. See how far behind we are. And there's like 25% of different content. Yeah, plus and minus. Guys, I found a thing, and I need you guys to talk me back off the edge. What is your thing, Elbow? Okay, Andrew posted the specials over at 209. Elbow found on AliExpress a 3070 keycap that goes on your enter key. Are you kidding? That's not a question, man. That's not something to do it. Do it. I have found, I got a little fuzz there. What are you doing? That small items ordered from Ali tend to come in on a timely basis. You order big stuff or lots of stuff, they put them on boats and then they get stuck out in the harbor. But little things, wait till I show you little things from today. It's 15 bucks. You're right. I would not buy a keycap for $15. 3D print it, for goodness sake. A couple more bucks, you buy a 3D printer. I super scrolled. That's an interesting thing. What kind of beer is that you're drinking? It is Lipton beer. Artificial sweetener that's keto friendly, iced tea, lemon and ice. How does the random number generator work? It picks the number that I'm thinking that's not random and post it up there. No, I'll give you the link for the random number generator that I used on today's show. And then when I do it again, I'll use a different random number generator, because sometimes you go to a random number generator and it's not really very random. First person who runs it gets a number 1047, and the next person who's a different person runs it and they get the same initial number 1047. So I launched it today and I ran it a whole bunch of times, so it had gone through a lot of cycles. And so when I run it for the contest, that's the number that we'll use. And I'll tell you what the link was. Reading questions. All right, 210, Maven, quick question though. Can I swap hard drives on any PC with appropriate cables and such, or does it need to be compatible with motherboard and RAM? It's been a while. No, there is no issue of motherboard compatibility. Okay, if it's a SATA drive, you can plug it into a SATA connector and pick your other favorite connectors. However, depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If, for instance, it's a boot a copy of Windows and it was designed for an AMD processor, and you're going to make that the boot drive of a motherboard with an Intel processor, eventually you can make it work. I did that once and it took weeks. And once you start it, you can't go back. It gets worse. So you got to stick with it and do things. But I have successfully moved things from one machine to another machine. Now it's going to change as we implement TPM and other security features. There's going to be issues now that didn't exist back when I did this about safe boot. Dang, sorry guys. I know it looks tacky. I'm seeing it in my reflected mirror and it's killing me. Oh, well, live with it. So yeah, it can be done. But now if you're talking about, I got this hard drive on my old laptop, it's got data on it and I can't boot it anymore. What you can do is take that drive and install it as a second drive or third or fourth or whatever in another computer. You can put it in a housing and, with a USB connection or an eSATA or whatever, or if you've got another SATA connection inside your computer, set it up in there. And then it will turn up, if it's NTFS, and it probably is, as a foreign drive, you have to turn it back into a dynamic or a basic, and you initialize it. You won't lose any data, but then you can access it like a D drive and pull the data off of there. And there's some other steps you may have to run into. You might have to use the supervisor account on the working machine and take ownership of all the files in that hard drive. That can take a day or two, depending on the capacity and the number of drives. So that's what I got on that. It's a lot easier to move it from an Intel machine to an Intel machine. But again, I haven't tried this with security features like secure boot enabled and or TPM. Excuse me. Reggie Van Driest is here. Greetings, Reggie. New face in the crowd. I like that. Thank you, man. Silvio asked me about the T. Andre de Goyert. Finally, I'm on my laptop. This is much better. I was watching it on my phone while driving my car. That was a nice, safe thing to do. But fortunately, the population of the Netherlands is only what, a couple dozen. So the chances of hitting another car are almost nil. I would think the worst thing you do is hit a horse-drawn carriage with flowers. And sorry, man, you know I love to pick. Okay, everybody saying hi to each other. That's good. I'm just sliding right past those so I can get caught up here and get some of this stuff going. Andre, I missed that memo. Jason, okay, everybody's talking here. David Mueller, we've seen you before. A+, 220-102 question. Can you explain hash? I seem to be lost or severely overthinking what it does. Absolutely. Hash is a unique number generator that takes input. Could be a text file, could be any kind of file, could be typed input, whatever you've got. And it runs it through this formula, this algorithm, and it generates we'll call it a number, right? It's hexadecimal characters. And depending on which hashing algorithm, there'll be 56 numbers in it or 512 numbers in it or whatever. And it doesn't matter how much input you provide. If you send one character in from a keyboard or one character in from, excuse me, a file, it'll generate let's talk about MD5. It'll generate a 56 byte file, a hexadecimal output, hash number. Now, let's say that you had a 1 meg file and you ran it through an MD5 hash generator and it generates this 56 byte hexadecimal sequence. And you change one character in that file and you run it through the MD5 algorithm again. The 56 byte sequence that it's going to generate will look nothing like the one that was generated before you changed one character. Same thing. If you put in a file, one character, and it's got the number 1 in it, and that's all that's in there, and you run it through a hash generator, it'll generate this big, huge 56 byte hexadecimal sequence. And now you change the 1 to a 2 and run it through the hash generator again. The output, the 56 byte output, is going to be something totally different. So what do we do with hashes? Well, they're used to confirm integrity. So it goes something like this. I take some information that I want you to have, and I want to make sure that when you get it, beg your pardon, that you get it intact, that it's not been tampered with, that it's not had a bit failure in it during the transfer process or whatever. So I'm going to take that information that I know is good. I've just generated it, and I'm going to run it through a hash generator and save the resulting hash value. Then I'm going to send you the stuff I want you to have, and I'm going to make available to you. I'll send it to you. I'll post it on my website. I'll send it to you in an email, whatever. The hash value that I got when I ran it through the hash. So you get this stuff that I sent you, you run it through the same hash generator. If you're running MD5 and I'm running MD5, it's MD5. They're the same MD5s. It's the same SHA-256. It's the same SHA-1. So there isn't any kind of difference there. So you take the information that I sent you, you run it through your MD5 hash generator. It comes up with a hash number. You compare that against the hash number that I sent you. If they're matched, then you receive that file intact and perfect. If there's a difference, then something went wrong. And they do this all the time on download sites. Let's say you're going to download an Ubuntu ISO for your virtual machine. So you download it, Well, right there on their website is the hash, and there'll probably 3 hashes for it: an MD5, a SHA-256, a SHA-2048, something like that, whatever. Run it through any of those hash generators on your local machine, or there's online hash generators. It'll generate a hash value, and you can compare them. You can even copy and paste the one from the website that you're seeing into the hash generators. They all have comparators. So it'll run the hash, it'll generate the result, it'll compare it against the one that you copy pasted in there and tell you, yep, that's a match, or nope, you got a mismatch here. So hashes are just a way to verify the integrity of data between a source and a destination. I hope that helps. Let me know if I can add more. 219, is it people talking to each other, or T? Peter Hunt, I read that, and I have AMD. So nope, not yet for me. Okay, yeah, me too. And I wouldn't have one anyways, unless Intel goes out of business. My wife has one, my kid has one, but he has a lot more computers with real CPUs in there as well. What do you mean that's just a joke because you see ice? You don't put ice in your beer? Man, how do you get a cold beer if you don't do that? My mom is also on a diet. She went no salt, no sugar, no oil, no eggs. I'm waiting for the joke here. Yeah, no air, right. She's a 35th degree vegan, nothing with carbon in it. Elbows, sports ball playing. I follow the sports ball like anyone else. I enjoy sports ball. At 2:25, Andrew posted links to Discord. So that was my point about that. Join Discord now before the 29th. So you're ready to go. You've got an account. You're connected to our Discord server. So when showtime starts, you can just connect, or if you're not already constantly connected, be right there. You don't want to sign up with Discord and then get the invite and all that. So if you don't already have a Discord account, just go to discord.com. Sign up, get yourself an account name, and then you can start joining Discord servers like the unofficial Total Seminars Discord server. Matt, are you doing the contest today? Yes, Matt, I am doing the contest today toward the end of the show. So much knowledge on that Discord server. Oh my gosh, I'm playing a chit chat. Good. There's Callie in there. Tullowit just did at my request. He made a new channel on it yesterday. Called security. People all the time come up with these things that happen that impact computer security. This hack happened, this fix happened, this was reported, and everybody puts that in the general forum, and that kind of clutters it up in my mind. So I took a security hack that I thought was an interesting one yesterday, and I stuck it in the Kali forum because that's the one that's kind of most closely related to security. And then I asked Tullowit, one of the moderators, to make a security subchannel, and he did. It's moved into there, and that's getting a little bit of action too. But we got Raspberry Pi channels, we got Linux channels, we got Study Buddy channels, general tech support channels. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. Lots and lots and lots of interest there. There's a meme channel if you're into that. I'm not reading that question out loud at 2:29, Jason. Let's see, done A plus. Should I do Net Plus next or CCNA? Asks Matthew Patrick at 2:31. Net Plus. We are not Cisco specific. CompTIA is not Cisco specific. We teach everything that you need to know about networking that's in CCNA. Now, CCNA is basically broken up now into 2 components, and then there's a handful of other subcomponents, 9 other subcomponents. But the 2 major ones are Cisco's version of Network Plus. So cool, you'll know all the networking stuff that you need to know, and then all you got to do is pick up the little Cisco flavorings, and then there is how to program and manage Cisco switches and routers, iOS language. So we always recommend Network Plus. You don't have to get the certification, get the knowledge. So take a Network Plus course. Then, while you're at it, if you're a certificate collector, take the test. It'll be easy for you. Remember the 5th of November. I don't know what happens on the 5th of November. Sorry about that. But I do know today is the 15th of October. We're halfway through October and most of the way through the year. We will be saying 2022 pretty soon. Is that a knockout or what? fresh install is faster than getting Windows to install on another computer. Probably true most of the time. Abu Bakr Al-Haj, hello, my friend. Is there a big difference between 4 gig and 8 gig Raspberry Pi? You know, I can't believe 40 people didn't put in the answer 4 gig. No, if you don't need 8 gigs. I have 2 gig and 4 gig Raspberries here, and I have never needed an 8 for any of the projects that I do. But if you're going to do a whole bunch of servers on a Raspberry, if you're going to do some really massive server of some kind that is going to require a lot of RAM, yeah. And so in that case, the difference is $20 US. And I will tell you what I mentioned this last week to everybody here. I have always wanted, just for no other reason than to complete my collection, an 8 gig Raspberry Pi. And so I decided last week that I would order it. And so I did a couple days before the show. And I ordered it from an authorized US distributor, Newark, NEWARK.com, because I'm in the US. And so I gave them my money, $75 plus taxes and shipping. And they said, very good, we have your money. We will ship it to you when we get it. We're anticipating January of 2022. So supply chain impacts. You can buy them out there from, secondhand and scalpers and things like that for more, but I don't need an 8 gig. I want one, but I've never needed one. I've never had a performance problem by not having 8 gigs. Reading back channel stuff, stand by. Oh, nice. Yeah. So one of our back channel folks says he has an 8 gig and has never needed it either. And this particular back channel person is a real tech weenie. So you know what I'll do is I will do a little research this week for next week's show and find out if anybody has done projects where 8 gig or having more than 4 gigs is mandatory. That's an interesting question. I like that one. Notepad. I'm going to write that down. Show notes. Check Raspberry projects that require more than 4 GB RAM. All right, that's my project for the week. Thanks. Okay, I didn't super scroll. What did I do here? Reading questions. Oh, so much. Okay, passing 230. Sorry, reading questions. Some of them are just funny, even when you read them a second time. Jason Helms has the mask ready. Okay, we're going to stream. Did 8+. Okay, did that. Matthew Patrick, what kind of job are okay, Tolowitz talking to Matthew Patrick about job. I mean, if you need CCNA plus, if that's a goal for you for whatever your purpose is, definitely go for it. But having Net Plus under your belt first will make CCNA plus easier. All right, read and pass. I'm passing 234. Can you overclock a Raspberry Pi? Absolutely. I have an episode. Give me a second. Did we do that this year? I can check that. This is 2020. We did that in 2021. Overclock, OVERCLOCK. One result. Okay, I'm going to post a link on the YouTube feed right now. We did this on April 16th, how to overclock a Raspberry Pi. And whatever time it is right now, I got 2:58 on my local clock, so give or take 2:58 on their clock. Take a look at that link and you will see how to overclock a Raspberry Pi with video instructions. It's incredible. Yeah, they default to 1.8. The Raspberry 4 defaults to 1.8, I think, and we've pushed it to 2.5. I saw somebody on the Raspberry Pi website the other day claim. No, he posted it on Reddit. It's probably on Raspberry Pi site as well. He claims a world record. I think he said he got like 4 gigahertz out of it with liquid nitrogen cooling and whatever else was involved. Yeah, sorry, super scrolled. Got to go back and find myself. Okay, there we go. Ramming the price. Dave, a while back, we was talking about ways to connect multiple monitors to a laptop. Finally broke down and bought a docking station. Should be in the mail soon. Cool. You'll be happy. I got two monitors, the regular one on my laptop here, and then there's an HDMI output port. So I'm running that to, how big is this thing? 27. I like bigger monitors, but I have a hutch around here that won't hold a 29. But that's it too, unless I want to do something creative like a dock with more multiples. David Mueller pulled his question at 2:39. I've got an Intel. It's my oldest laptop, an A5, but I won't have it for much longer. It's going to the Ukraine with my mother-in-law. Okay. Well, best to your mother-in-law and her travels. Running AMD Ryzen 5. Okay, sharing Discord links again. Thank you. So 2:43, Andrew posted the Discord links again. Please join us. Good afternoon, says Catherine. You made it. Cool. You haven't missed anything yet. I'm going to start the project here just a couple of minutes, give or take the top of the hour. A couple more notices and things like that to read, and then we'll do showtime. I'll do showtime for probably 40-45 minutes, and then we'll do contest and close it up with questions. If I don't finish showtime in 45 minutes, we will cut it off, and you can read the rest on the archive document server, or download it from there. Okay, gunpowder plot was on. Oh, okay. Gunpowder plot was 5th of November. Very good. A plus, then net plus, then sec plus. Yeah, that's the usual order for people who pursue the trifecta. But you get somebody like Andrew Hutz on here. He did sec plus prior to net plus. He's a smart guy. He's a knowledgeable guy. So we had a lot of requisite knowledge that you would get from net plus. So that helps. My pleasure, Abu Bakr. People reading each other. I'm passing 2:47. Yeah, it means I'm going to catch up here pretty soon. Andre, my i5 on my laptop did good for what I did with it. Okay. I posted at 2:48, the overclocking feature link. Reading questions, thinking about Ice Tower for my Pi. I have an Ice Tower on this very Pi. Can I pull this without doing a ton of damage? Yeah, it's not a great view of it, but there's a wonderful little cooler. I have another one. These things have dropped in price a lot lately. You can pick them up online for $18 US. So very useful, very practical, and especially if you're overclocking or making your CPU run at its max speed, even if it's not overclocking, at least for a long time. Matthew Patrick, thanks. Going at plus route. Okay, very good. Best of luck. And, you know, if you have questions, me or Mike, or email us. We'll be happy to help. Good to be on, says Sunny and Mango. Congratulations again on that new job. That's wonderful. Pi Square archive server. Thank you, Andrew. At 2:51, he posted the link to the Pi Square document server. That's a server that I bring up on show days, and I will also bring up on request. You can email me. I'm always online at the Discord server. If you say, hey, I missed your show, I'm watching an archive and I want to download some of the archive documents. These are the documents that I use, the slides that I make, my outlines and my step-by-steps and everything. I save them all as a zip file every week. So you can download and you don't have to watch the show. You can follow in my notes there, or you can follow my notes as you watch the show, or whatever. So if you'll just head over, it'll be running till about midnight tonight, and then up on request, Square, PIRSQUARE.zapto.org, ZAPTO. It's up and running. Have fun. And okay, I think that gets us caught up. Andrew, I've connected my old 20-inch monitor over HDMI to my laptop. Me too. Andrew, for those who missed it, there are deals on bundles. Okay, and Andrew's also reposted the bundle deal. And we'll do that again at the end of the show. All right, I am caught up on those questions. Let me check my outline, see what I need to talk about there, and then we start El Proyecto. Outline, there we go, it's up there. Oh, I did so much of this stuff in advance. We can kind of get through a lot of this. Do you need a Raspberry Pi for today's project? No. Any flavor of Linux will work for what we're going to do today, but we're doing it on a Raspberry Pi because that's what I do here. So, oh, wow. What the heck happened there? I edited this morning. Oh, okay. No, we're good. So last week, October 8th, what we did last week, what we're doing this week. We did the second week of our exploration of Rocky Linux. We installed Cockpit, which is a web-based console manager for lots of Linux distributions we were using to explore Rocky. It's a lot of fun. It was really kind of cool. Just last night or this morning, I was checking one of the news aggregator sites, the Linux news aggregator sites that I watch. Alice has turned me on to it about a year ago. And one of the first articles of the day is how to install Cockpit on some other distro. So, I mean, we said last week, it's very popular, and it is. And that's awesome when somebody posts how to install on a different version. I think I got this from another distro. I'm betting that person saw, hey, Rush installed it on Pi. I'm going to show people how to install it on whatever distro he did. I don't recall. So what we're doing today, we're going to look at some less than commonly used commands by people who don't know they exist. In fact, we're going to look at 1.5 commands. We're going to look at the history command, and we're going to look at the bang command, which is related to the history command. And we're also going to look, if we have time, at the bang command. Remember, bang is an exclamation point as an operator. Bang, when used with certain commands, means not, means opposite or reverse. And Andrew, if you will post the link for the tutorial that we're using today. If you guys want to take a look and have a page open in advance, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to put this on the shared screen here. Today's guest, history and bang commands. So what I'm about to share is the link that Andrew is about to post. Share screen. Which one? This one. So here's the tutorial that I'm using today. It's on techmint.com. Mysterious uses of symbol or operator in Linux commands. I think it's a really awful title. You can pause this and read it if you need to figure out how to type that thing in another window. I'm not leaving it up there much, and it'll be in the link phase. All right. There's a lot of information there. I doubt we're going to get through it all. So again, just download, either go to that tutorial and follow along there, or download my today's archive document and you can get it all out of there. News, tricks, and techniques of the week. I would say tricks and traps, and I get burned by that. WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux, has been an integral part of Windows for a little while now. And they made an announcement the other day that it's no longer going to be an integral component. It's going to be an app that you install. Well, I read that and I said, I'm going to, try it before it becomes an app. So I enabled it and started playing with it. It's cool. It's powerful. It's flexible. If you're interested, I'll do that with a show with you one day. But then what I saw the next day is it's in the Microsoft Store now. Download and install it. So it's interesting stuff. And what it is, because I've never played with it, I've heard about it and I've seen it, but I didn't actually install it myself until the last day or two. It's a virtual machine that's got Linux in it. And there's all kinds of Linux distros that you can install in it. And what's really cool about it is you get this fully functioning Linux distro that has access to your Windows file system. So that makes it really practical and useful. Okay, this is a big announcement. This is a big announcement. The 2 Rocky Linux shows that I did over the last 2 weeks have had extremely positive results. I got emails and notes and all kinds of contacts. The people loved it. Remember what we did here. Rocky Linux is a downstream, which basically means clone, of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. The difference between it and Red Hat is it's free because there's no support for it. There's no contract that you can get support. If you need to, support from the company, then you purchase a Red Hat support contract, and you use Red Hat. But we can use Rocky. It's exactly the same thing as Red Hat, works the same, looks the same, acts the same, smells the same, uses the same files, patches, and fixes that are the same. It's the same. And we got the Raspberry Pi version of it. So it's really useful to learn RHEL on it, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Red Hat is the #1 installed version of Linux for corporate operations. So if you're going to become you want to become a Linux administrator, a Linux operator, possibly a DevOps, then you got to learn to speak RHEL. A lot of other places will also use Ubuntu, but find out where you want to work and what they use. That's what you want to learn. But because of the overwhelmingly positive result that I got from this thing, I'm going to do something. I have been chewing. I've wanted to do a project for a long time, and I just haven't found the right one. This is it. I'm going to do a second show each week. It's not going to be a total seminar show. It's going to be a Dave Rush show. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a couple of months as the first part of the show in learning and teaching RHEL/Rocky Linux. And I'm going to use Raspberry Pis because I love them. It's my focus and my fun. So I expect to launch that in the next 4 weeks, hopefully sooner. It's going to be a shorter show. It's going to be a 1-hour show. We're just going to do 15 minutes of opening intro and Q&A, and then half an hour, 40 minutes of however much we get through. It's not going to be a lot of material each day. So we're going to spread this out over a long time, and then a few minutes of Q&A at the end, and then shut down. What time, what day? Don't know yet. How long? Again, about an hour. So if you're interested in Raspis and different flavors of Linux, be on the lookout. I'll do an announcement. And I think it's going to be a ton of fun and present some wonderful opportunities to learn that aren't necessarily CompTIA centric. Okay, other big news. Everybody knows, hopefully, that's probably why you're here, that we're giving away a CompTIA voucher toward the end of the show. Good for any exam except for CYSA, and good anywhere in the world that you can take a CompTIA exam. So I'll give you some more info on that. My disclaimer, and I'll have another disclaimer later, we're operating in good faith here. We're doing everything that we understand to be correct in this giveaway. We guarantee nothing. If it doesn't work, if you don't get your voucher and we've done our part, we owe you nothing. Sorry. We have every reason to believe that everything will work fine. Obviously, it's taking some time on some of the other stuff. But after we pass along your info to CompTIA, it's out of our hands. I did the costume party announcement, so that's done. I did that announcement last week. Because of my wife's traveling in the last week or so and the flight cancellations that affected her and millions of others, I had to delay my appearance on the W5KUB show this coming Tuesday. So it was going to be this past Tuesday. It's pushing back. So I'm going to be guesting on W5KUB.com. It's an amateur radio, ham radio, technology roundtable show forum. And they found out what I do and how we do this. And they said, oh, come on, talk about Raspberry, talk about your show. I may talk about a project, ham radio and Raspberries, but I'm going to put a lot of it on this. We're going to try and use that to generate some of those folks to come visit us and vice versa. So here's the info. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 p.m. Go to w5kub.com. You'll get redirected to tmedlin.com. Tom Medlin is the operator of the site. And there's a little button in the link of it that says live show or whatever. You click on that. And then there's a window inside that you can give yourself a moniker. You don't have to register if you don't want to. You just give yourself a name and you can participate in their live stream chat as well. So hope you'll join us there. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, East Coast time in the US. Okay, done, 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 done. That takes care of everything on my list except this. So we got three folks that are regulars here that have blogs that they make available. Andrew Hutz has a security and hacking oriented blog. Tullowit has a slices of life in Hawaii blog. Some pretty cool stuff there. And where'd Elbow go? Oh, I wound up cutting him off. Elbow's got a blog where he reviews inexpensive computer and technology hardware. I do have it in my slide. So I'll get that. I'll have to fix that on my other thing. Announcement, history, bang. Today's guest, friend of show. There we go. One more share. And that should take care of all of my notes. So check out these blogs, review them, give them nice compliments and thumbs up. I have enjoyed every one of them. They're all good presenters. They're all good writers. They've all got good content. So please enjoy this. Again, pause this if this is about to disappear too fast, and then try them out. Andrews is the easiest to remember, right? TGA Sec WordPress, TGA Security. Okay, is that everything? In my, yeah, okay. All right, last couple of questions on here and then start project. Reading questions, passing 251. Super scrolled as soon as I moved it. Oh, we don't have much on there, good. Joey's here. What's CompTIA voucher? Not why? I don't know, because CompTIA says no. They don't explain it to us. They just give us the rules. We follow them. Okay, good. 256, remind me, when I start the project, the tutorial link for it is at, Andrew posted at 256. Okay, gamers, Dave rocks. Thank you, man. Nice. And gamers rocks too, and so do games. Carla Rain is here doing awesomeness. Fedora as well. Okay, Red Hat uses Fedora as testing, and they're moving CentOS to their upstream. That will be their testing flavor. And Alma Linux is planning on being a downstream as well as Rocky. So yeah, we'll talk about all that stuff. Now, it's not gonna be the Dave Rush show. It's gonna be, I picked this title a long time ago, Andromeda. Andromeda. We'll figure out what An and Duh stand for, but it's got drama in it. Master Patrick, Dave, you mentioned that most businesses use Red Hat or Ubuntu. I'm a newbie to Linux and have a VM running Kali. Right, so Kali is not a business distro. It's not what you use to host servers on and shared files and things like that. It's a penetration testing tool that's built around Linux. It's got a whole bunch of utilities in there. It functions like Linux as far as its internals go, but it's not a server. So for workstation Linux, there's Raspberry Pi OS, there's Mint OS, there's Debian, and for servers, you got CentOS and Red Hat and Fedora and Ubuntu and Debian. So it all depends on these. There's a lot of very specialized Linuxes that are designed to meet a particular requirement. So do I have any advice? You're a newbie to Linux. Yeah, I advise Ubuntu. There's a lot of people who advise beginner Linuxes like Mint. I don't. I mean, if you're going to run this in a VM, it's not like you're dependent on it and, oh my gosh, I can't get my homework or my job done tomorrow because I don't know how to use Ubuntu, but you can learn it little by little in a VM, and maybe someday, and it doesn't take that long, a year from now, you could say, you know what, I think I'll do my whole life on Linux and abandon Windows. I don't necessarily recommend that, but if you're a Windows user, you know the basic functions of computer. Ubuntu's got a nice graphical interface, so you can work with that easily. It's got installers, graphical installers and things like that, so you can learn that stuff, and then you dabble in the command line until you learn more and more. Hope that helps. Joey, I'm a fair pseudo-random number generator. See, if you were here at the beginning, you'd know whether or not I was going to do that, but you know, You'll find out. That's right. I owe you nothing. That's what I think. New article this Sunday. Oh, great. So Andrew just posted a new entry in his TGA Sec blog. And where can I find it? I just posted the link for it. tgasec.wordpress.com, I believe, is his. Yes. Toloway, new videos when he gets around to it. We have vlog about birds. Oh, send me the link, Sonny, and I will add you to the Friends of Show slide. This will be fun. We'll turn this into a whole thing here. Okay, I'm caught up on questions. What kind of hardware other than rubber ducky for keylogger? Wow. I'm gonna let one of the Kali folks answer that. I am not up on all of the cool hacker tools. All right, let's talk project for a while. It's 10 after. Go until 40 after, however much we get to cover in that. Slideshow, there it is, not slideshow. So I'm calling this thing Explore Useful Linux Commands. We're going to explore one useful Linux command, and that's the history command. And then we're going to look at the bang command as it relates to history, and time permitting seems unlikely as an operator. So there's lots of Linux commands. We use them all the time. We can use them in our sleep, like ls and cd and mv and rm, and every day our daily driver commands. We know and use regular commands. We're all talking about command line here, like apt and apt-get and curl and wget to install programs. We check network settings all the time with ifconfig and the IP command. These are all like breathing air, right? They're just things that you got to be able to know and use in the command line. If you live in a command line environment, if you work in the Linux command line environment, and you use them so frequently that you can't help but learn them, and they become second nature to us. Same is true for a lot of Windows command line stuff. And then there's the opposite side of the coin. There's commands that very few people in either environment ever use. Even the weeniest techno weenies say, aren't going to use some commands very much. Everyday users aren't going to use some uncommon commands that aren't really obscure. You're probably, unless you're following somebody's instructions on a project, never going to use the sed command, sed, the grep command, or the awk command. We have used them all in projects here, but they're not daily driver commands. So today we're going to look at a command called history, which is not an everyday command for most people, but once you use it and understand it, if you play in the command line environment, it will become a regular command for you. If you want to be a Linux system administrator, a DevOps, if you want to prepare for Linux certification tests, such as Linux Plus or LPIC, Linux Professional Institute Certificate, you've got to understand and know how to use some of these less common commands, and history is definitely one of them. So for today's project, what do you need? Hardware-wise, a computer running Linux. It's a Pi, it's a VM in an x86 machine, it's a dedicated version of Linux, doesn't matter. You don't need a network connection, can't hurt, but you got to have a computer running, and you're going to have command line access to it. Software, Linux. That's it. No special software to add, none that we're going to download. So I'm going to set up an SSH connection here to, I don't know, I'll do it on the Rocky server. I haven't done this on the Rocky server, so maybe I should do it on a server. I've already tried this, huh? I just tried to type putty into my search box, and I typoed it, and it brought me up to PetSmart. 192.106, how about 192.168, 1.105. Oh my gosh, I've given you the IP address of my Rocky Linux server. Now you'll hack it. And I'll go further than that. The account name is Rocky, and the password is ROCKYLINUX. And there we go. I'm in. Okay, cool. Now I'll share this with you because I like you. All right, it's good. it's going to look like I'm looking away from you while I'm doing this. Now it's because that's where my putty window is, and I'm looking away from you. Sorry, man. Yeah, I guess I can move this over here. It'll be a little closer to camera view. And that means I got to move this over here. There we go. Okay. So if you open up a terminal session in Linux and you type in a command, hello, whoops. I do this all the bloody darn time. I'm just going to put in a command in here. CD, pwd, ls, and clear. I can get these 4 commands back by using the up arrow in reverse order. Clear, ls, pwd. I'm just hitting the up arrow. We call this up navigation. But if I close this session, if I quit out of putty, if I close my command line session that I've launched from a graphical utility, and then I open up another one, when you hit the up arrow, it's clear. There's nothing there to go back to. But they're all still tracked. Linux tracks every command that you've ever done in a command line session in order. And so to see them all, we type in the command history. And so and this means all, this means not since the last time I booted it up, but since the first time that I booted it up. Yeah, there's a way to clear this history. Got some thoughts on this here. Establish. So did that. We can use the out. Fine. Junk. Just said all that. Hey, I got through 2 pages in just that short little thing. Linux tracks them all. You can review all commands that have been run in the terminal since it was first booted. And Linux gives us a way to review and use those commands with the history command. So this is a useful command. For instance, if I did a command that was challenging, it was long and it had weird syntax, and I had to type in a 56-byte hash number to do something here. I can't remember that. I can't copy paste it. It's all right. I'll use the history command, and we can use the bang command to reference a line in here, and that'll bring it back up. If I say something like bang 295, it'll set up on my command line minus something. We'll get into that. So being able to access the history of every command that's ever been entered in here is useful because it'll help you remember and use commands that you've typed in the past. It's great for forensics, and forensics doesn't always mean something bad. It means that we need to research something that happened in the past and use it or document it. So I could be researching something that was good. I did something really good. I can't remember how I did it. That's right. I'll use history. Maybe somebody accidentally typed something and did some damage. I would like to know what they typed so I can help undo the damage. Or maybe we're looking for something that somebody typed in to perform something malicious. So again, a good tool to do that. So if we take a look at a line, let's say, for instance, this should be quick. I ran this the other day. Line 302. The bang command, gosh dang it. I move back and forth between these 2 environments. Stop it. I start typing into what I think is going to be the window that I'm showing you, and it's not. It's typing in my other thing. What in the heck? There we go. Okay. So the bang command is tied to the last time you ran the history command. If I type in 4 more commands right now, bang will only be able to reference up to line 310. Enter command. Now, if I run history again, the 4 new commands will pop up and it will tie itself to the bang command. So what I want to do is I want to rerun this command, the one on line 302. So I'm going to say bang, no spaces, 302. enter, and it ran it. If this one was a command that didn't call for prompting for the password, then it would simply run. Well, in fact, I'll do another one of those. Let me put this password in. This happens quickly. ROCKYLINUX. And he goes buzz, 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 grind, grind, grind. That'll take about 30 or 40 seconds. No, I don't want to download this. I guess I didn't do this one when I thought I did. Okay, you get the idea. So I'm going to do a clear here. And I'm going to do a fresh history command. And look at that. The history command back at 310, I've typed 3 new commands since then, so it remembers them. Doesn't remember bang, but it remembers running this again and clear and rerun of history. So let's run another command on here. Trying to pick one here. Oh, okay. 272. So I'm going to say bang 272. And it was an LS of a particular folder with lots of stuff in it. Buzz, 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 grind, grind, grind. There we go. So it did an LS of the user bin folder. All right, let's clear that out. So that's one use of the bang command. And it remembers everything I did from the last time I ran the history command. Now there's another way to do this. And let's say that I had 47,000 historical commands in here. I don't want to go back. I just want to go back and run forth from the last time I ran history. Well, I don't remember what it was. So let's say history. And let's say that I want to run line 314 again. Well, this is the last command that I run. We call that -1. Next to the last command that I ran, -2. Next to the last command before that I ran, -3. So you got to figure it out here. We're going to do bang minus however many from the end. Let's do bang -3. And there's that ls command again. You can pass arguments from the last command that we ran to a new command without retyping. So last command I ran was ls space /user/bin. Now let's say that I want to add ls. I'm not going to add ls. I'm going to add -l to that command. We can do that. I don't have to retype the whole thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say ls. We'll start it -l. And now I'm going to use bang $. Bang $, means use the last command that you did when you ran this, but if there's any duplication in here, ignore it. And if there's anything new, add it. So now we've rerun that command. If we look at it, I don't expect you to memorize all this. I just want to expose you to this. I'm giving you a taste, so don't panic here, because there are so many cool commands that you probably have never played with. So see what he did? Originally, I ran ls/user/bin. Now he turned it into ls -l, whack user, whack bin. Cool bananas. How about multiple arguments? Let's say that you want to create a folder or a file. Let's see. They did that. Yeah, this is why I shouldn't use this, because I don't have the folder structure that they already have. But okay, if you want to create a file, there's about 10 different ways to make a file. What we usually do in these classes is I send you to the folder in question, and then I have you run sudo nano in the name of the file, or nano in the name of the file, create something in there, and then save it. But there's another way to create a file. It's real simple. Let me make a directory here. I'll just do it right here. Do it the hard way. We're going to use the command touch. Touch means create a file. It can also be used to update aspects of existing files. And I'll say touch, whack home, whack Rocky, whack, and then the name of the file, we'll call it test.txt, test1.txt. Okay, so we passed an argument, and we pass two arguments, not just one argument to touch here. So now I want to copy it to someplace else. So how about we say, let's make a folder, make dir, and we'll call our folder saved. So now I'm going to copy this is whack home, whack Rocky, whack test one.txt to whack home, whack Rocky, whack saved. Okay, so we've done a command here that now has two arguments. Copy needs a source and a destination. So how can I use bang to take advantage of that? Well, what I want to show you is how to use them individually, and then you can extrapolate that and use them into different arguments. So bash has an echo command. With echo, I can identify the value of variables. So I'm just going to put some text in here. First argument is, and now we're going to put our bang. This means last time I ran the bang command, or the any command, bang says the first argument can be referred to bang up caret. Okay, first argument was home. So anytime you put on the command line bang up arrow, this value will be substituted. Another way to do it is to say something like, we're just using the echo command to demonstrate this. Bang, and then refer to the command that you used, and then the number of the argument that you used in that command. So our second argument was, here's our first, home Rocky test one. Second argument was home Rocky saved. So enter, show me the value of the second. So these are different ways of showing the value of multiple variables used on a command line using the bang command. I think it's kind of cool. How are we doing here? (27) exclusions. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get deep into the weeds here. I'm not. I'm going to call this just an exposure to it all. There is one or two more that I do want to show you in here. One or two cool things. Check the output. The assign is running already bands with the ls keywords. I'm not going to show you null. I want to show you bang bang. Bang bang says calls the last run command and lets you alter or tweak the command that's being rerun. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to copy and paste some text that they used. Yeah, I got to do it this way. So here's a command. It's got all kinds of neat features in there. It's going to say, use the IP command address parameter and show it, except take the show and send it to the grep filter and filter out anything that doesn't have the word inet in it. And then we're going to do a grep in reverse. Take that and reverse grep it and pull out anything that's got inet 6 in it, and also pull out anything that's got 127.001. And then we're going to awk it. Not going to get into all that, but here's the trick. Cut a couple values. So show you what I mean. We hit the enter key. And so that's a neat way in a command line to just find out the value of your IP address. This is great if you need your IP address sucked into a bash script, into a Python script, or something like that. But let's say instead of turning up on the screen, I want to run that, excuse me, and send the output to a file. Now, one way to do it would be to hit the up arrow. Let's make sure I'm in the right box. And then direct the output to a file called ip.txt. Could do that, that would work. And so up navigation kind of saves the day there. Sorry, checking my notes here. F2D colon. Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to close that and we're going to try a different command to experiment with. Yeah, that didn't come out right. I didn't copy it right. Dump that. Let's clear here. There we go. Okay. So there's another IF command. We're going to pull out things here that don't have D colon at the end of that. Show you what I mean. Nothing. I got zilch out of that thing. And that's because what I cut wound up cutting everything. And so you may get a message, an error message with this. You may get no output. So again, we could up arrow and fix it, or we can use our bang bang. Bang bang says call the last command for a user and run it again. Here's the trick on this one. I want to run all that junk again, but I got an error that said, oh, I know why that command failed on here. I got burned by that before. If config doesn't exist in here, Rocky's too new. There we go. We got an error message. I screwed something up. And the thing I may have screwed up is I forgot to run it under sudo or to run it under sudo with someone who's got enough power to pull that off. So here's what I can do. I can say sudo or su -c, and then refer to the last command using bang bang. I don't remember if we need a space in there or not. I'll double check it. And then put in the missing piece. You're going to run sudo -c. Okay, who you want to use? I'll use, we made Fred a super user. Okay, here goes. Okay, that worked. No error messages. None of this junk that says, hey, here's how you run the command correctly. So I'm not going to get, again, I'm not going to explain all this. This is an exposure class, but that's as far as I want to drag these things. Let me take a quick look at bang as a knot. So let's experiment with the most dangerous command in all of Linux. And it ain't ls. So let's make a couple of files here. cp test1.txt, test2.txt, and 3 and 4. That seems like enough to be dangerous, right? All right, now if I want to get rid of test1, test3, and test4, that's a problem, because normally to get rid of all the text files, I would say something like rm remove star.txt. But that star says, oh, wait a minute, I'll take every file you've got that includes the extension txt. So how about we change that up a little bit? rm not, this is no longer tied to the history command. This just means not. And is this going to pull every file out of here? It's going to pull the README file. I don't want to do that. cp star.txt to saved. Okay, there's my 4 files. So now I'm going to rm except or not test2.txt. And so it got rid of all of the files in there except the ones after the not. And you can get really creative with this, but I will show you this one. Most dangerous command in the world is the RM command. Now, if I try to get rid of a folder that has contents in it or no contents, I simply say something like RM saved. It'll say, nope, not happening. Well, let's go get rid of that file that's in saved. RM, I don't know, we'll just say star.txt. Okay, no files in there. There's my saved folder. Let's RM it. And it says, nope, you can't use RM to get rid of a directory, whether or not it has contents. So what you do is say, do it anyways, force it. Now you may or may not, depending on your version of Linux, have to use sudo. So let's try it without RM minus RF. R for recursive, anything in and under it, and F, force it. Okay, no error messages. I didn't need sudo with this one. Oh, and it said bite me. You lose. Didn't get to remove it. So let's sudo it. I should have got an error message on that, but this is secure Linux, so sometimes it won't show you error messages. There we go. So sudo RM. Password is Rocky Linux. Oh, still there. Again, secure Linux. If we did this in Raspberry Pi or most other distros, it would be gone. So we got to turn on a feature in here, but you get the idea. So why is that the most dangerous command in the world? There was a news blurb 2 years ago that somebody went to the root folder of a critical server and did RM star, remove everything, minus RF. And they did it with sudo command and supposedly blasted the entire contents of the server. Turned out that was a hoax. That didn't really happen, but it could. It was a cautionary tale. All right, there's more, but I'm done. It's 37 past the hour. I want to do contest. So if you want to see the rest of it, check out the tutorial, check out the My Archive, and we will call that end of lesson for today. I'll stop share. Let me recycle my machine. See, I don't need any more Linux today. I can close PuTTY. I got to close this. Give me a second. It's going to make me do some stuff here. I'm going to lose Q&As, but you'll be back. You know what? That's in pretty good time. I might just leave that. Except I've lost. Did I lose? No, there it is. Okay, cool. Let me pop out my chat again. Set it back on live chat. And then we'll do a contest. Come on up, messages. Let's see, what have I got over there? Nothing. We got notes. All right, well, I'll start reading this while I wait for that to come up. Sure. As soon as you say that, it comes up. Live chat. All right, and I finished this up at what, 06, something like that. I knew Andrew posted the link at 326 or 350, 256. So it's got to be near there. All right, what kind of hardware other than rubber ducky? That's about where I left off. All right, so we're picking it up when I come back to questions at 310. All right, so we're gonna do a contest for a CompTIA voucher. The voucher is good for any CompTIA exam except CYSA for reasons that we don't know. They're good anywhere you can take a CompTIA exam in the world. It's a universal voucher, no matter how much it costs. And if you win, what you gotta do is you're gonna send an email with some information that CompTIA needs, and you're going to send it to Mike Myers. I'll give you the link and the information. He'll send that information to his people at CompTIA, and they will issue the voucher when they do. Process may happen in a few days, maybe a few weeks, and there's a little bit of a delay right now that's built in. Mike is traveling, and I don't know if he plans on taking care of that while he's on the road, or if he's going to wait till he gets back in a week or so. The rules. This is drama. The rules we set up for here are similar but different than Mike's rules on AMA. My prerogative per his instructions. So no previous winners of vouchers can win a voucher here. I have a record of every winner to date, and I will continue to keep that record until or unless we find a reason to change it. And there may be reasons down the road. We make it as fair as possible, but because of the structure of the internet and the way YouTube works, answers that come to my YouTube chat will likely appear in a different order than the way they appear in your YouTube chat. It's my YouTube chat that matters. So the first right answer in my YouTube chat is the one that I will declare the winner. It's just the nature of the game. I'm human. I make mistakes. Seldom, of course. If I make a mistake, if I announce the winner and it turns out that I'm wrong, that's the winner. Whatever I say is what goes. I try to be fair. I try not to make mistakes. But once the winner's announced, that's who it is. There's no do-overs. There is no appeals process. And again, when I'm done, I'll post Mike's email and the info that you need to send. Okay, today's contest, we're going to, in order to keep it fair, we're not going to ask a practice test question or anything like that. We're going to use, as was recommended by some users, and I'm going to change this. I hate this idea, but we're going to use a random number generator. I'm going to give you a range between this number and that number, inclusive, and the person who goes the closest without going over will be declared the winner. I'll leave it up for about 30 seconds or so. I'll let you post answers. You may only post one answer. If I see, hey, you won. Oh no, you posted another number down here, then you are invalidated. You cannot win. You get to post one number and one number only for this contest. Okay, so here goes. Let me go find my random jumper numerator. Oh gosh, I was an idiot. I put it in here. Okay, here's my random number generator. Oh goodness. I got to do something creative. Stand by. Nothing's going to get lost. Nobody will miss anything. But I did mangle the soup a little bit. Wow. Okay. I'll do it the different way. I bumbled that one. No, I won't do it a different way. I'll do it this. I might have a little hiccupy screen for a moment or two here. Might hear some audio stuttering. You're going to pick a number between 1 and 777, right? We do Linux in here, so 777 should have some meaning for you. And I'm going to click on the random number generation right now. You can be posting your number. All right, I've got my number. I'm going to put it in another file here so that I don't have to refer back to the page that I just went to. Okay, I got that. Now I can shrink this down and we are happening. So we're going to collect people posting answers. Okay, I see a few answers coming in. We got more people here than this. How many we got here? We got 17 people. There should be 17 posts or more going in there. And by the way, if you don't want the voucher, you can say pass. Put your number in and pass. Yeah, right. That's why you're playing, huh? That felt good. Yeah, see, your odds are really, really good here. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. You have a 1 in 10 chance of winning right now. Another 8 people, folks, put in a number that's between 1 and 777 inclusive, and you have a shot at winning a universal CompTIA voucher, good for any voucher or for any CompTIA exam except CYSA. Tell her what you pass, you big. Oh yeah, you do pass. You won. All right, 10 more seconds. I'm going to count it down here. 10, 9. Seriously, you don't want a voucher? I got more people coming in and nobody else is posting. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the last person who entered a number on my list was Tullowit at 344. Here comes Matthew Patrick. I'm going to allow it in. I'm not going to kill you until we find this. Pass. I don't want to take an exam unprepared. You don't have to take the exam the second you get the voucher. The voucher is good for a year, and you can schedule exams for a year out when you do the voucher. It's between 1 and 777, Carlton. So 0 is out of the running. Man, I want to see some more people take a chance at this thing. I'm dragging this out. Throw a number in while I'm still talking until I announce the winner or until I announce stop. I am allowing it to continue to run. We're good on time. Seriously, no more. Okay. It is now frozen with Carlton's non-entry, with Maven's non-entry at 346. He's got an entry. Maven's 33 is the last entry that I am accepting. The number, the random number was, I typed it in. Boy, there's an interesting rule thing that we might have to deal with. What if 2 people put the same number in? Do they have to split it? Nah, it'd be first one with, right? Okay, the number was 305, 305. So it's first number closest to without going over. So I'm going back here. 222 is best so far. 66, 482 is over. 443s are over. 123 is out. It's past time. So wow. So pretty darn lucky. Carla Rain, you are the second person on my list after Abu Bakr. With your 222, do I see anything that disputes that? Looking for closest to 305 without going over. It's not there. Carla Rain, you have won El Contesto today. And give me a second. I'm going to do 2 things here. One, I got to update the winner file. Voucher winners, Carla Rain. Winner is Carla Rain, who guessed 222. Okay, that file is saved. Now, here's what you have to do to claim your prize, Carla Rain. I'm going to put this I'm going to post it in the chat, and I'm going to put a slide up. So stand by while I pull this up or post it in the chat. Okay, summary that fits on YouTube. Okay, I've just posted it at the current time. It's about 48 minutes into the second hour, 3:48 my time. And I guess we'll put your name on here at Carla Rain. Yeah, there's space in there, at Carla. Okay, send that. Now I'm going to put a slide up so everybody can see it. You can also see it on the feed. Friends, Fire Square, unofficial voucher winner process. Okay, that's the slide to show. Share it, click it, share it. Here we go. Okay, so if you're a voucher winner, Carla Rain, you're going to send an email to Michael M at totalsem.com. That's Mike Myers. You're going to identify yourself, Carla Rain, or whatever your real name is. Carla Rain may not be your real name. Identify the YouTube name that you used when you won the voucher. Include your real name. Include in the body of the email. Do not count on him using the email came from. You type this in the body of your email address, and the country where you intend to take the CompTIA exam. If you already have taken a CompTIA exam, make sure you use the same name and email address that you're already registered under, because getting those records together is impossible, or really, really challenging. All right, congratulations, Carla Rain. Well done. Good guessing. We'll do another contest on Monday on Mike's show, on Wednesday on Mike's show, on Friday on my show next week, as fair as humanly possible. And let's catch up on any questions. We got about 10 minutes left in show time. I'm going to go back up to where I dropped things off. Bang through 3. Farther up, tell it boopers. Okay, picking up at about 3:10. What we said before. People talking to each other. Can't find Elbow's channel. Elbow, if you're here and I got that wrong, send me an email with the correct link, and I will retype that back in. I think I copied and pasted it from the last one I got, but I've screwed up before. But you know what? Here, let me try something. Elbows, where is Friends of Show? All right, I'm going to copy and paste Elbow's link into my browser and see if it goes there. And if it works, then I'll post it on the chat feed. Okay, open up a new tab. That didn't work. Stand by. Copy, Control C. Paste, Control V. There we go. It's a YouTube channel. And is it going to come up? Am I getting an error message? Watch TV. It looks like it's coming up. It is coming up. I'm saying that as if it's going to come up. Well, I'm just going to add a load. I got multiple YouTube channels running simultaneously. All right, it's upset, but it's working. That link is correct. So I'll repost Elbow's link in the YouTube chat. We'll call it Elbow Channel, LBOE's channel. Stop it. Okay, it is reposted at the current time, 52 minutes past the hour. All right, reading questions here. Hope that helps, gamers. Joey Quetzal is talking to each other. Hardware, you can make your own rubber ducky with a USB drive. Otherwise, best of my knowledge, that's it. Okay, thank you, Andrew. No problem. RMF / right, /. Andrew, you are evil, my friend. Andre, you're evil, buddy. All the ways to kill your machine. Do that in a VM, man. Don't do that in a real. I think Mike, mine still shows after closing and reopening. Okay. Probably limited history using the up navigation. Right. It's only limited to the last time you opened the session, the SSH session. Okay, bang through 3. This is William Hung's favorite command. I read that out loud. I may be putting up new videos soon. An interview with Mike. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, it's a little complex. Again, I just want to introduce you to it. Saying yes to anything. Jason Helms. You know, I saw the post there at 3:36 and assumed that was coming from Patricia Manussi, but no, it's Jason who's watching me. What Linux was I using? I was using Rocky Linux there. Yeah, but that works fine on Debian. Archive link is posted again at 3:38 or so. Peter Hunt, when the RMRF is used, don't you have to name the folder needed to be deleted? Yes. Or you can use asterisk. I didn't, yeah, no, because I listed slave. But again, Rocky is, I have SE Linux turned on. So there are some things that you can do without that are non-SE Linux in non-SE Linux boxes that you can't do unless you make some changes in a secure SE Linux box. That's what I get for switching servers from the ones that I've been practicing on all week. Goes the way it goes. Yeah, Price is Right rules. All right, so there's all the numbers. Between 1 and 777 was the deal. Nobody went high, nobody went low, except for the 0. See, you missed the joke. I would have taken the joke that, okay, Dave said stop and he announced that the number is 305. I would have put in 305 and then whined. I put it in there. It just took forever to show up on your screen. 776. Okay, you did go high. Way to go. Hey, cool bananas. That takes us through all of the questions. We got 5 minutes of showtime left. Let me talk a little bit about upcomings and kill 4 minutes of that, and then we'll shut this thing down for the day, huh? I'm going to be on Discord 10 minutes or so after we shut down the show. Please join us. Again, get a Discord link if you haven't. You can look back through here for the links. If they've drifted off the chat, just go back to watch the screen. I've had them up for half a minute at a time. You'll be able to find them if you scrub through quickly. Und that will take care of that. Next week's show. Well, here it goes. I'm deep in a big project, but I don't need to sleep. So we're doing RetroPie for good or bad, whatever it takes. If I got problems displaying it, then I'll talk you through it, but we're doing RetroPie. And again, RetroPie is really easy to install. You could look up any tutorial you want right now and say how to install RetroPie on a Raspberry Pi, and you'll find it, and it will be a cakewalk. It's an image. So all you got to do is burn the image to a micro SD. You can download on Windows and use Win32 disk write. Don't use the Raspberry Pi imager for that one. Use Win32 disk write. And you power up and you pop it in your Pi, power it up, answer a couple simple questions, and you're running it. There are a few default games on there. That's the trick. That's what our show is going to be all about. How to add ROMs, they're called, because they used to come on an old ROM cartridge that you plug into your console and run it. So they've been converted by many people into files. And the question is, how do you get that file into the RetroPie system? Where does it go? How does it get there? Things like that. Other upcoming shows for future, we're going to do a Minecraft server. We'll have to do a little time after RetroPie because I got to have to refocus a little bit toward CompTIA and get this thing doing what it needs to do. I got Pico projects, and okay, cool. I'm going to talk about this one for a second. I got a special project coming up. This one isn't free. It's not expensive, but you're going to have to buy some hardware for this. And if you're out of country, you're going to have to buy it in the US. It's only available from one source that I know of. Now, the good news is US wise, it's cheap to purchase, relatively speaking. Yeah, that's it. Oh, man, need this. There's tape on that. All right, there is a website called All Electronics, all one word, .com. They're a surplus house. And they have this thing. This is a counter that requires buttons. You click the button and it will increment from 00 to 01 to 02 and so forth. And that's all it can do as it stands. This thing costs $6. Comes with everything you need, including the power supply. There's soldering to be done. You're gonna have to solder these wires to the buttons. But it's easy to do, and there's not much soldering to do. There's only a couple of wires that require it. So cool bananas. And then again, you count up just by pressing a button one at a time for 100 times, 00 through 99, and then it cycles back to 0. Problem with that is you can't make it cycle back to 0 without counting all the way up to 99. So some nice gent did some studying on it, and he said, you know what? With 2 or 3 components and a cut wire and a soldering iron, you got to cut a wire on here and add some wires to it and one little component, we could add another button that will zero this thing out anytime. Okay, so that's just electronics, has nothing to do with Raspberry Pi. So I'm taking this project and I'm integrating with a Raspberry Pi. And what's unusual about this for us and especially for me, is most of the projects, 8.5 out of 10 projects that I do with you come from, excuse me, I got to get some stuff from under my chair so I don't crush it. Come from things that I found on the web, and I adapt them to work for us as a project. Sometimes I take them completely wholesale. I'm going to run a minute or two over because I got to talk about this. This is just cooler than all get out. But except for, how to use WireGuard, how to use Wireshark, that's what I wanted to say. I haven't done anything creative and designed on my own. Well, I've had this plan in mind for a long time. And so I started putting pen to paper, and I have designed a way to integrate that into the Raspberry Pi. And it's going to be super cool. We're going to control it with a web server. We've done LED control with a web server in the past. We're going to do that with a little more sophisticated things. We're going to have a web button that's used to count up. We're going to have a web button that's used to reset. I'm going to make that server available to you during the show. I'll have it mounted up over my shoulder somewhere so you'll be able to see it happen. And then here's the really cool part. Excuse me. Yeah, where's the really cool part? Man, I had this brilliant thing and I want to tell you about it. Oh yeah, I'm going to have, I guess I don't need to do that. So you'll be able to see it on the camera over my shoulder while you're controlling it during the show. I won't see, I'll probably see it because I see my little review screen. So you can be playing with my counter upper, counter downer, not count down, count up and reset thing. Watch it on camera while I'm doing the show. So if you want that hardware, $2 for the modification kit, $6 for the primary kit, $8 and a couple of bucks shipping out of California. They ship international as well if you want to do that. I'll give you a couple of weeks heads up, but it won't make sense because you're not going to do soldering real time while we do the show, and neither am I. I'm going to have it pre-done and I'll just show you where the instructions are, but going to be cool. So that's going to be done in short order, a couple of weeks. Other things, we've talked about some of these other things we're going to do, so I'm done with all that nonsense. Oh, I see what happened there. So Mike's show on Monday to close things out here. He's traveling, visiting his grandchildren. Kind of cool. If you're on Discord last night, while he's driving or stopping or whatever, he's taking breaks, he's poking in on Discords and having fun. He sent me some stuff this morning while he was traveling. He's in a place called Eads, E-A-D-S, Colorado right now. And he won't be doing the show on Monday. Scott and I will. There will be a voucher contest. There will be a total tester contest. And then Scott and Joe Ram, who did the show this past Wednesday, 2 days ago, will again do the show on next Wednesday. And then Mike is, I'll do my show the following Friday. And then Mike will be back to his normal show the following Monday. All right, so that's the show for today. We didn't go over too badly, a little bit. My thanks, as always, to everybody involved in support, especially today, Andrew Hutz. Thank you, Andrew, for your incredible back channel support. We have a plan to bring Andrew on as a co-host one of these shows in fairly short order. It'll be kind of fun. And I'll bet Scott is watching and decided, it was too late to participate, so I'll just watch. So if you're watching, hey, Scott, thanks. Hope you're having a good time on the East Coast. In the meantime, as we close things out, I am Dave Rush, senior instructor at Totals. Oh man, wait a minute. I can't do that. There is the thing you got to do before you do the thing. All right, anyways, this has been Dave Rush. I'm senior instructor at Total Seminars, resident Pi specialist. I wish you a great weekend. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. Call or visit your parents and other family. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. Good night. I'll see you on Discord in about 10 minutes or so, and at the AMA next week. And until then, I am out of here. There it is.